Now, a few weeks ago, I told you guys that you didn't have to adjust your TV sets. You were still watching the Australian Open 2013. You know, the tournament that we look forward to come every January? Yeah. Now, if you're a little fuzzy on what I'm talking about right now, let me rewind and refresh your mind a little bit. A few weeks ago, on the second day of the tournament, specifically during the second round match between Jerzy Janowicz and Dev Deverman, you already know where I'm going with this. But yeah, it looked much more like another awful episode of Jersey Shore. But rest assured, it was tennis you were watching. Professional, world-class tennis. Now I could see how you could be a little confused with all the bottle throwing, bumping into the umpire, screaming at the top of your lungs, and dropping to your knees. But yeah, it wasn't Snooki, it was Jerzy Janowicz. I mean, because seriously, the guy lost it. He went bonkers. It was one of the worst tennis mental meltdowns I've ever seen in my life, on the court or otherwise. But all that said, you know, the bottle throwing, the kicking, the violations, all that stuff, that was actually a good thing. No, not for Jerzy Janowicz by any means, but for the coaches, the players watching at home and in the stands and all around the world, definitely. You know why? Because this type of behavior is a real eye-opener. It shows you just how the intense pressure can cause anyone to crack, even the 26th ranked player in the world. So you really have to be mentally prepared out there if you want a real shot at winning. How so? That's where this tip comes in. Here are 3 great calming strategies that could have saved Janowicz from 1, utter embarrassment, 2, the boatload of backlash he received, and 3, what came later, the $2,500 fine for unsportsmanlike conduct. Now, this isn't just for jurors. It goes for you too. These calming strategies can help stop you from blowing your fuse and costing yourself a great win. So check them out.
The Fury of Jerzy Janowicz. 3 ways that Jerzy Janowicz could have avoided his tennis tantrum at the Australian Open 2013. Now, yes, we can all get a little frustrated on the court sometimes. Oftentimes, we're mad at ourselves because we've made an error that we would never make in practice. Sometimes we're mad at our opponent, thinking, how could you be so good? I hate you. And like Polish pro Jerzy Janowicz, sometimes we get mad at the line judge because we feel she's a lying old bag that's had it in for us from the start. But still, no matter what you feel, you never say such things. It's unprofessional, it's uncouth, and it makes you look like a petulant dope. In the 2013 Australian Open, Jerzy Janowicz was leading 9-8 in a very crucial tiebreak against his opponent, Dev Deverman. Now, when Deverman hit a forehand right on the line, Janowicz let it go, thinking it was out. As it happened, the line judge ruled that it was actually in, and it was tied up 9-9. Now, there are many things you can do when this sort of thing happens. You can keep your cool and just continue playing, silently disagreeing with the line judge and cursing your luck. You can also curse the line judge, under your breath of course, and make a note to send them a pair of extra strong prescription glasses for Christmas this year. But the one thing that you don't do is exactly what Jerzy Janowicz did do. He fell to his knees and started screaming, belting out at the top of his lungs like he were trying out for the lead role in A Streetcar Named Desire. But in this case, it wasn't Stella that he was yelling for, but the chair umpire, Marija Seacock. Sorry if I butcher your name. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the name enough times to remember the pronunciation in my head. But very good umpire, very well known. Anyway, he totally lost control. What happened was, Jerzy Janowicz walked up to her chair and began yelling, How many times? How many times do you see this ball? How many times do you see this ball? Do you know it's so slow? It's so slow. Anyway, this line of questioning, how inappropriate as it was due to the fact that Jerzy suspected that the chair umpire was being biased against him, having earlier made a call that he didn't agree with either. Oh no, and it didn't stop there. Jerzy Janowicz kept flipping out in the next set, throwing a water bottle across the court and lobbing, no, not to his opponent, lobbing more insults to the chair umpire. A point was taken away and he still kept going. He even physically struck her chair, which is a huge no-no in any kind of situation, much less during the Australian Open on live television. Now, as it turned out, even with all this commotion going on, Janowicz ended up winning the match, much to my surprise, 6-7, 3-6, 6-1, 6-0, 7-5. He actually won it in straight sets, after dropping the first two, of course. But yeah, after all that screaming, melodrama, and whining, Jerzy Janowicz still won. Now, if the world was fair, he would have lost the match simply because he lost his cool. Because the truth is, nobody was thinking about Janowicz's hard-fought victory in a ruthless 4-hour match. All their minds were locked on was the fact that he acted like a total brat that was just told by his mom that he couldn't go to Disneyland that day. Now, to be fair, it can be pretty hard to maintain poise and dignity when you feel like the whole court and the whole world is against you, especially when you're on such a big stage. Yeah, but that said, you don't want to look like good old yours and completely lose it, do you? Of course not. So here are some tips on how to become the anti-Janowicz in your next match. Here are 3 cool, calming strategies Jerzy Janowicz should have considered during his second round match at the 2013 Australian Open. And you should too in your next match. Cool, calming strategy number 1. Deep breathing. When you're in between sets, okay, you want to focus on deep breathing exercises. The deeper and more controlled, the better. To keep you from flipping out like Mel Gibson in any scenario. Inhale long and slow, okay? Then exhale in the exact same way. The diaphragmatic breath technique works incredibly well for these situations. It's a very special and powerful breathing method that can do wonders for your results and actually change things kind of quickly. I go into much more detail about that style or about that method at TennisMindCamp.com/course. Okay, COURSE. Now, back to the breathing. Now, let me tell you, if you're prone to outbursts, you have a short fuse, you get kind of agitated kind of quickly, that goes for both on and off the court, it would really behoove you to practice some type of breathing exercises. Then, once you find a few that work for you, I strongly urge you to go out and execute them. Oh, and if you have a match that day, do it throughout the day. Say if you have a 3 o'clock match and it's in the morning or early afternoon, take that time to go through the exercises slowly and efficiently. I strongly discourage you to wait. Okay, don't wait until you're just about to rip off the line judge's head or that of your opponents, a la Jerzy Janowicz. Okay, do it when you got time, you can get yourself in a groove, and it'll be a lot easier to call upon it when the time comes. Now, repetition, as my good old buddy Tony Robbins, or Anthony Robbins, some of you may know him as, motivational speaker, life coach, he says repetition is the mother of skill, and I wholeheartedly 110% agree with him. It's better and much easier to do when both your body and mind are already conditioned to do so. Your results might not be as good if you decide to surprise yourself, okay, and expect it to work when you're already not thinking clearly and completely out of whack to begin with. Calming strategy number 2. Use your imagination. Believe it or not, imagery can be insanely powerful in helping you remain calm. So listen, when you feel like you just can't take it anymore, any more of this abuse from your opponent, from the umpire, or even the crowd, just take yourself out of the game for a moment. Now, no, this doesn't mean throw your racket down and storm off. Okay? Instead, you want to imagine a peaceful scenario inside your head. For example, it could be a rainy summer night, a peaceful autumn scene, your favorite birthday cake. Rafa's got the idea. Or even the feeling you had after a long, restful nap. Whatever makes you feel good and secure inside. If you do this in between your points and changeovers, both your mind and your muscles will begin to relax and become a lot less tense. Okay? You'll begin to hit the balls much better. Your game will feel a lot more fluid, and you'll be having a lot more fun out there, which is the number one goal at all times. Oh yeah, of course. And this will help you avoid screaming like a raving lunatic, a la Jerzy Janowicz. Calming strategy number 3. Use humor. Yeah, be funny. Or as the infamous rapper Ice Cube would say, laugh now, cry later. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can diffuse a tense situation like a little bit of comedy. If good old Jerzy Janowicz had made a joke at his own expense, or laughed inwardly about the whole thing, like Lakers center Dwight Howard often does, he wouldn't have had such a bittersweet victory. So, when you find something that's plaguing you on the court, that's really getting on your nerves and testing your patience, try to see the funny side of it. Okay? Try hard, because it's really going to help you out. It's going to help you prevent yourself from exploding into a murderous rage. Because frankly, all getting upset will do for you is not good. It's all bad. It'll raise your blood pressure, shorten your lifespan, and provide media outlets like TMZ, the Tennis Channel, and ESPN with tons of material for those watching to laugh at. Now note, remember this. When I tell you to be funny, to look at the funny side, don't take your game or what's happening on the court so serious. It really helps to have a funny joke already in mind ahead of time. One that you can return to whenever things get a little too tense out there for you. One that you can immediately call upon whenever things start to go sour for you. Granted, it can be kind of hard to think of, what's a really funny joke when you just double faulted or you just lost your service game or hit an overhead into the second row of the stadium. Yeah, so have that in your back pocket. It'll really do you some good. So, the bottom line is, have fun out there. I mean, after all, it's only tennis. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want more tips, tricks, and strategies, all free content, head over to www.tennismindcamp.com/blog. Alright, and for instant access to over 19 hours, yeah, that's almost 20 hours of kick butt tennis secrets, head over to tennismindcamp.com/course. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel at TennisMindCamp.com, TennisMindCamp, and that way you'll be notified first when I upload something new. And the best part is, that's free too. So, have a great day and an even better game. I'll see you soon.